Hey, I'm Dean and this is Legacy Voyage. In Season 1, I'm documenting my journey to earning my first 100K net worth as a full-time college student. Join me as I share some of the lessons I learned along the way. I remember when I first started adding, something that I really struggled with was just introducing myself to people. And that's one of the most important things is the first impression that you give off on the other person. And I remember going up to a new golfer, introduce myself. Hi, I'm Dean. Nice to meet you, Mr. Blank. And eventually, once you do it enough times, once you rep through it, then you get it down. Like your handshake goes better. A good, strong handshake is a great first impression. But there's something that's way more important than the handshake, I think. And it might sound cheesy, but it's definitely a smile. There's a couple reasons why I think smiles are so powerful. First one is because of their first impressions. I mean, who doesn't like seeing someone else smile? It's contagious. When you see someone else smile, then you want to smile with them. And I think if I meet someone for the first time and they're smiling, then I immediately like them more. One of the most popular books by far called How to Win Friends and Influence People, one of the chapters it talks about is how everyone literally every day is yearning for a smile. That's why people love dogs so much because dogs are always smiling. But I guess I probably shouldn't say that because I'm not really a fan of dogs, but I'm kind of warming up to them. The other reason why I think smiles are so powerful, and it relates to another book that I read called Tiny Habits, is that when you smile, there's physiological benefits. There's psychological benefits. I'm not sure which word I should use there, but there's so many benefits when you smile. Because I think literally, if you just smile for a solid 1, 2 minutes, like you actually feel better. It sounds so cheesy and doesn't sound real at all. And I thought that too. But then I just tried it and then I think it actually works. Not I think, like this stuff actually works. If you just smile, then you feel better. And obviously, this doesn't apply to like depression or something, but at least it definitely helps me feel better when I'm just, I don't know, feeling kind of down on myself. And I remember reading a book called Tiny Habits. It's all about behavior change, changing your behaviors, putting in habits that will actually make your life better. And there were, I think, two main ideas from the book. One of the biggest ones, and the one that the author loved the most, like he said in a couple interviews, that if no one else got anything else from the book except for this one idea, for this one point, it would be that you change best by feeling good, not by feeling bad. And I think after refocusing on that idea, it's definitely helped me reshape some of my thinking, some of my habits, my goals. Because for the longest time, I mean, I've talked about this, how I've struggled with eating, especially binge eating. Like when everyone leaves, there's no one there to watch me. I'll just grub. I'm not talking like no a little cookie, a little ice cream. I mean like 10 cookies, half a tub of ice cream, a full pizza. I mean that type of stuff. And I've learned that by the end of it, I just keep feeling down on myself. I'm like, man, why did I do that? I shouldn't have done that. And I keep beating myself up over it. But from the book, I think what it teaches is that I'm not gonna change if I'm just constantly beating myself up over it. It's better to feel good about the change, like, "Hey, I didn't eat all this junk food," and feel good about that change. I think that's what it means. But at least the way I use it is whenever I'm feeling down on myself or I'm like, "Man, why did I do that?" I think a smile actually helps. Because the first thing that it reminds me of is that I have the power not to do that thing. I have the power not to eat the pizza. I have the power not to eat the cookie. And when I smile, it helps me remember that, helps me feel good about that. I don't know, something about smiling that I think has really helped me. And I've tried doing this more often, especially meeting new people. There's two big things. I've tried to remember their name. I think remembering their name is probably like the most important thing. But after that, it's just smiling, like walking past someone I don't even know, just a quick smile. Because people love smiles. I mean, I love smiles. But yeah, that's the lesson for this episode with the life update. So I got a lot of work done today. Oh, and if you've noticed, I'm trying a new thing with the audio, so hopefully the audio comes through clear. Because I noticed some of the past episodes, the audio has been terrible. In terms of everything with marketing, I've just finished with the landing pages and Google Ads. For some reason, they keep getting rejected, but hopefully I'll work that out soon. And then luckily, I reached out to Coach V. I really haven't talked to him in ages, actually, or worked on his stuff in a while. But I talked to him about switching from ClickFunnels over to High Level. ClickFunnels is doo-doo, man. Compared to High Level, oh my goodness. So now he's gonna be able to pay for my subscription, which is a dub. And yeah, the biggest thing now for school is that I just realized that I gotta come up with 10,000 bucks because of the meal plan and house bill that I have to pay once school starts. Last year I didn't really have to worry about it because caddying paid for everything. Because I got like 4K from caddying, then another 7K from, then I got another 7K from the scholarship, and that basically paid for everything. But now since I'm not caddying no more, I gotta come up with that much money a different way. So yeah, I guess that it definitely helps me motivate towards the goal that I'm trying to get to, which is 10K before I leave. I definitely think it's possible. I just gotta figure out like a nice timeline to actually plan everything through. There's something I'm thinking about. I'd love to interview people, man. That would be so sick if I could interview people. But the idea that I had was interviewing Northwestern students and being like, what would you say to yourself a year from now, 5 years from now? Where do you think you'll be at? Make some predictions, stuff like that. I remember there was this vintage series. I think it was a Vogue or something. But that's when they interviewed her when she was like kind of big, but not really that big. And a year later, then a couple years later, man, that would be so cool. If I could do it with some Northwestern kids. And not only that, but if some of those kids were like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk, man, but something that's been weighing on my mind. I'll probably talk about it more in the next episode. But I remember reading, I think it was a LinkedIn post by Cole Graham, one of the successful Tongans. And the post is like, I don't really like talking about success because I'd rather be pursuing success or actually being successful. And man, I thought that was so true. And something that I definitely catch myself a lot of the time where I'm not trying to be someone who's all talked. Like all talk about success, but never actually be successful. Because there's a lot of people online, these gurus and things, who talk about being successful. They're not really that dude. But I think thinking through it and with this podcast is it's not really sharing, oh, look at me, I'm so successful. Or, hey, this is what you can do to become successful. If you do this and that, then you'll be like me one day. It's more like just sharing my journey. Because I talked about this before, how I had some imposter syndrome doing the podcast. But now I look at it as like just me sharing my journey. All this is basically like a kind of like an open diary out to the world. Open diary made public. But yeah, just a couple years down the line, I'm trying to look back. Man, what a journey I've had. I also remember reading a tweet from Alex Ramsey talking about his biggest regret when he was 18 was not recording more of his journey. But yeah, I think a couple years down the road, an 18-year-old is going to come to this podcast and maybe learn a thing or two. Maybe they won't. We'll see. But yeah, that's everything for this one. I'll see you in the next one. But till then,